Is it possible to beat Dark Souls 1 while being mechanically impaired? Well, I'm here today to answer that question. Kinda. Hear me out. So I wanted to do a run with only left-hand attacks as my only means of damage, but I thought I needed an extra restriction, so I decided to only allow daggers for their short range. Here's the thing. While editing this, I found out that a run with only left-hand attacks has already been made by Accains 3 months ago. So yeah, the run is possible, and someone else made it even harder than I did. But I already recorded this one, so well, here's my take on it, I guess. Anyway, we start as a thief, both for the master key and the bandit's knife, since this is the current best dagger we can start with. For the gift, I chose the Tiny Being's Ring for a small boost in our health early game, since we can't do damage other than with our knife for now. We run through the asylum as normal and pick up our weapon. Now let's see the moveset. Okay, a parry and a pretty fast attack. I can work with this. We get the CP juice from Oscar and try our damage, and it isn't that great. Also, ignore the fail parries. I suck at this game. We try to plunge the demon, but lo and behold, we can't plunge with our left-hand weapon. Thankfully, he's incredibly susceptible to being bled, so after a few hits and getting bled like a pig, we make our way to Lordran. After picking up the collectibles nearby, we level up. For this run, we only need Vitality, Endurance and Dexterity. Everything else gets ignored. We pick up the Firekeeper's Soul in New Londo, and the one in Blighttown as well. Make our way back through the intended path, while still pumping Vitality and Endurance. We give the Black Knight a try and... oh no, that damage is pitiful. Thankfully, he can be bled, so eventually he goes down. So far it seems like bleed will keep us alive, basically. We head down to Havel as well, who also gets bled a couple of times, and we get our second ring. We kill the lizard for some upgrade materials, since we clearly need every ounce of damage we can get out of this weapon. Thankfully, they don't have much health. We make our way to Andre, buy some Titanite, and start upgrading our weapon. We take on the Tower Knight, and I also picked up the Firekeeper's Soul before that. With that, we finish upgrading our dagger to +5. Now we can get the elevator back down to Firelink. And god damn it, I forgot Lautrec is triggered by the Firekeeper's Soul things again. After lamenting ourselves for a while, we head back up to take on the Channeler, who drops down after we turn him into a her. After a while, she does make her way back up, and we jump her like the common thug we are. Anyways, time for the gargoyles. Let's see what damage we're working with in here. Is that a 39? From a +5 weapon? Well, guess we better get used to it through this run. We die, more so due to our bad positioning than the gargoyles themselves. Okay, that one was just because I suck. Next time we managed to get some good hits and almost managed to get the first one fully down before the second one comes in. Thankfully, a few more hits is all it takes, and since one spams the fire breath attack, while the other is in melee range, it isn't too hard to finish it off. Once only one is left, the fight is pretty much done, and we get our victory shortly after. We ring the first bell without much trouble. We level up some more using the gargoyle souls and decide to head down to the depths for the large ember. We pick up the basement key and kill another Black Knight for another Titanite chunk. We open the shortcut just in case and head on to take the Tower's Demon right now, since we're already nearby. Taking the hollows out first makes the fight a little bit less annoying, but since we can't punch him anyway, we just slash at his ankles until he dies. With him gone, we go down to the lower undead berg and open the shortcut to the bonfire. Grab the mail breaker, which we can't use because apparently it's a piercing sword, not a dagger, and head into the Capra fight. I hate the dogs in this game. Second try, we avoid the dogs and get on the magical Ledge of Dreams. It takes 3 strikes to kill each dog, and Capra decides that today he is feeling like invading our personal space for a bit. So we get to admire those abs I wish I had myself. Anyway, the battle takes a while due to our low damage, but it isn't necessarily hard. And after a while, we claim the key to the depths. We make a questionable purchase, you'll see why later, but there's a hint in the description of the item. We open up the shortcut back to Firelink and grab the Grasscrest shield. We pick up the Lemon's armor and head straight to the butterfly. We wait for it to land and let's see the damage. I hate my life. After a while, we decide to put the charcoal pine resin to good use, but obviously, we can't buff our left-hand weapon with a consumable that specifically specifies buffing the right-hand weapon. That's how to waste souls 101 for you. It takes a while, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but we had to use some humanity even, but eventually it does go down. I'm not sure if it can be bled, but with it flying all around for long periods of time, I definitely didn't get any bleed procs. Since we have a ton of humanity, let's become human and take the opportunity to kindle the bonfires on our way. We dip our toes in the depths, failing it to properly jump a couple of times of course. Just enough to get the large ember. We'll leave the ember with Andre, but we still don't have any large titanite, so we can't upgrade anymore yet. Now we need to head down to Blighttown and get assaulted by the only naked woman that has ever thrown herself at me. We also take the time to gather the dragon scale here for later. Since we still have humanity available, we kindle the flame a bit. We now pick up the large titanite around the swamp and even got lucky enough to get 2 to drop from the leeches. There's 2 chunks we can easily get in the Great Hollow, and don't look at the humanity counter, I made it back, safe and sound, I promise. With that, we can head back to Andre to level up the knife to +8 and make sure not to rest at the bonfire so we can warp back to Blighttown instead. Now it's time for the spider lady. With how fast we attack, this is really not much of a problem. Unless we fail to recognize the explosion, that is. We do get her on the second try though, by just hugging one of her sights and paying attention to the explosion cue. The fast attacks really do help here. We ring the second bell and head down to meet with the actually hot spider lady. We do a bit more leveling up and get ready to take on Ceaseless since we are already here and the 20k would help us with a couple more levels. Just pick up the ropes and run like a madman. Unless he decides not to jump. But I boned out, don't worry. Anyway, time for Sen's Funhouse. We grab the large titanites behind the first cobra, the ring of steel protection since we still don't have the fab ring, call for aid from Rohan, some more large titanite, and the cage key. Since we are here, we might as well also take the chunks from the non-respawning giants. With the large titanites we acquired, we can already +10 our weapon. That's not enough though, so I decide to head down to New Londo for the very large ember. Nothing gives us much trouble until we get to the ghost house. Thankfully this time around we do have some horizontal swipes, which makes it a bit easier. Oh look, a penny! Anyway, we get rid of the rest of the ghosts and head up to talk to Inward. We look so trustworthy that he gave us a key without any trouble and decided to retire. Far, far away. We immediately use the key and get down speedily to get the very large ember. Which we can give to Andre as soon as we're back. With that, we can now upgrade our knife even more, and since we prepared ourselves well, we can get it all the way to +14 in one go. We're just missing a slab, and I know exactly where I can get one. We take the Egg Express back and pay Thunder Thighs a visit. Same as the Asylum, this one is also super weak to bleed. Takes like 3 to 4 hits to proc every time, so I didn't even have to heal once. Don't forget the doll while we're here. With that, we get our plus 15 weapon, without any trouble. I'm not gonna lie, I upgraded so much since I anticipated damage against the golem to be absolutely horrendous. And it is, kinda, but we attack so dang fast we even get him to wobble. And against all odds, we also get it to take a nice little tumble down the side. In Anne Orlando, we take down the first gargoyle in a painstaking manner. Our range is very limited, and in this kind of fights, it really does show. We make our way through the rafters, killing guardians on the way, and obviously, we have no reason to go back and risk dying, right? Anyway, we kill the other gargoyle and take a quick trip to the painted world, where we just run past everything. Open the shortcut and kill the undead dragon for its skill. Now just to reset the animation on the dragon, and we can't. No matter how much I hit it, we can't get it to stand, and we can't do a jump attack with the left hand. Eventually, we need to give up and head down to the sewers to open the proper way forward. What the hell are you doing here, Phalanx? We open the door and start running back to the ladder. Don't worry, totally made it up, no trouble, didn't die. Now it's time for the real fun to start. I already have 2 dragon skills, I just need to get a fluffy tail. Except that we can't break the poise, so we can't see where the tail is. Well, I suppose my only choice is to head back to Firelink to get the Force Miracle to break her poise without dealing any damage. Okay, I guess not. Unfortunately, we don't get the tail cut, and obviously you can't cut it after she died. But that doesn't stop us from trying. Oh well, at least now I don't have to go down to Ash Lake, or farm the scales. After a quick level up, we head to the archers and... God damn it, just fall already, man. Ah, the black eye orb, of course. Excuse me as I take my revenge. Or not. Let's get Havel's armor on the way. Damn it! Okay, don't rush, separate the caster first, and kill him while he is isolated. Kill the other idiot as well. Now it's just me, a sliver of health, and a dream. But against all odds, We land several parries in a row, and finally we get the Fab Ring a little bit late. Now it's time for one of the toughest fights in the entire game. Let's first check the damage on Ornstein. And damn, that's slow. It takes a while and almost all of our Estus, but we do finally manage to kill him and move on to Super Smo. He's susceptible to bleed, so as long as we keep the pressure on, we can deal some pretty nice damage. Other than that, the fight is pretty straightforward, and we managed to complete it without much trouble. First try. We get the Lord Vessel. Don't worry, I'll come back for you later. We revive our Firekeeper and place the Lord Vessel to unlock the other areas of the game. Ah, right, I was supposed to save some souls for the Crest of Artorias. Andre, I'm a bit short in souls and my weapon is already maxed, so... He gave it to me eventually. Now that the door is open, we say hello to the ninja. Look, there's some treasure down there. Now it's time to face the danger doggo himself. Sif can be bled as well, so as long as we manage to keep up the pressure, we should be fine. Thankfully, I'm spared of his limping animation this time around. With his souls, we get to the soft cap of Dax, and now it's time for revenge. Now that our damage is much better, we can engage into an extremely long and drawn-out battle. I'm sure most of you don't often see him actually getting killed, but for me, it's all too common of an occurrence. That's 20k in our pocket and an open path down. The worm gets killed to unlock the bonfire, and now it's straight into repeat boss number 2. Same as its previous 2 iterations, this one is weak to bleed, so I'll just let the whole fight play out and you see for yourself. Centipede is just a bit annoying. Just jump over the lava twice, we get to the nice platform, and from here he gets destroyed with our current damage, and due to the fact that his patterns are quite easy to read. This time around, let's just run through Isolith, and once again, Prepare to Die edition shows its true charm. If it isn't the giving humanity one by one to the Fair Lady, then it's the glow of the lava. After torturing our eyes for a little bit, we make it to the bonfire and immediately sprint to get the Sunlight Maggot and open the shortcut from the other side. I'm not sure why people don't open the shortcut from this side usually. We bully the witch and head straight into the bed of chaos. Whee! Okay, that's too much. We sprint to the first side, land the jump on the other side, and get smacked around a bit by the stupid branches. Just a center to go, and I absolutely didn't die to the firestorm attack. Nope, not at all. From here, it's a perfectly safe stroll towards the stupid bug, and we take it down without any trouble. Hello, my beautiful fair lady. How are you doing today? Oh, what's this? Firekeeper soul? How odd. You wait your turn. Now it's time for the catacombs. After taking down the first necromancer, we take the plunge following Gale's advice and head straight into the pinwheel fight. Damage is low, so I wonder how it's gonna be in this fight. Ah, of course. Our damage isn't low when compared to Pinwheel's pathetic health pool. As usual, I just sprint past everything in the tomb, stopping only to light the bonfires on the way. We also just sprint past the pinwheels and drop down into Nito's arena. By the way, I hate that we have to heal after dropping. Anyway, this time around, we have to deal with the skeletons since we don't have a divine weapon, and I'm sure as hell not gonna get one just for this. Unfortunately, we die on the first attempt. The second one doesn't start splendidly. We get hit by tons of stuff, but after a while we do manage to get a rhythm going, and thanks to Nito himself killing the Tonys again and again, we do manage to slowly drain his health bar down. One strike at a time. Eventually he does go down on the second attempt. Before heading to the archives, I decide to deal with the Hydra, so I can get the pendant and gain access to the DLC. Unfortunately, I don't have enough damage to outright kill it, so we need to sever all of the heads this time around. After dealing with the Hydra, we rescue dust from the golem, which surprisingly takes decent damage from our little knife despite being made of literal crystal. But I ain't gonna complain much. Now for the hogs. These two bastards took me longer than some of the recent boss fights. They are so resistant to slash damage and our weapon bounces off of them. But there is no way I'm not picking up this bonfire. Eventually, I do kill them, and I'll spare you the footage, but it's the same thing with the other hog as well, so just imagine it's the same thing twice. We get the pendant from the golem, and let the crystal captain hit us a couple of times so we can die before being cursed by Seath. We also put on the paladin's armor, just in case, but honestly all that was just overkill for this. We run through the prison, collecting keys and shutting down the sick beats the youngsters nowadays like to play. We also open the shortcut, light the bonfire, and head back to the prison to grab the other Firekeeper's soul. Now it's time for the Crystal Cave, and we just run past everything. There's nothing that interests us here at this point, so just a mad dash to the boss room is all we need to do. Once inside, we'll let Seath get close and use a breath attack to destroy his own crystal. From there, once again, it's just a matter of playing keep away as usual, and going back for a few hits every time we can, and running away from the explosion one more time. Honestly, this fight is one of the easiest ones in the game once you know how it works. I even changed my armor in case I needed some curse resist, but I don't think I got more than just a bit of chip damage here and there. Easy boss. Told you I'd be back. Here, catch. We take this bonfire just for safety, but Mr. Delicate Hands here shouldn't be much of a problem. And he isn't. Our damage ain't amazing though, so it does end up taking us a whole 5 cycles to get him down. But I end up using only 1 Estus for the entire fight. I told you your turn would come. Oh no, you're even fire rolling. This is so pathetic. Let me put you out of your misery.
But how? This man is a threat. Master Gwendolyn.
We take the quick way down to the Four Kings, and once inside the fog gate, we change our clothes. Quick fat roll just to check, and down we go. This battle had me really concerned for our damage output. I didn't really know if we would be able to take them down fast enough. But we have plenty of stamina now, so we can just get close and spam attacks for a while. I didn't manage to kill the first one before the second one appeared, but thankfully it didn't get involved until after I was done with the first one. The rest of the fight goes smoothly, and we just ended up using 3 out of our 20 flasks, so I think I was concerned for nothing. Time for the DLC. After getting not so gently manhandled, it's time to kill the Guardian. Where are you attacking, brother? You okay? Other than some poor dodges and bad decisions from our part, this fight went down fairly easily, and we're gonna finish it having used only 2 of our S's. We say hi to Calamite and trim her nails a little bit. Now it's time for what is sure to be one of the toughest fights of the entire run. First, let's look at what the damage is looking like. 45. I can work with that. We unfortunately can't work with the buff. We can't knock him out of it, so we just have to deal with it when he buffs. Which kills us the first time. Second time, he wasn't even buffed, I just dodged incorrectly. That one was totally my fault. On the third attempt, we accidentally jumped towards him at first, and I don't know how I didn't get punished for that. But I'm not about to complain for it. We take our time with it, sneaking hits here and there, keep away from his buffing animation, and finally space him perfectly for the last couple of hits, and he goes down. Well, since we couldn't get the Dragon Dagger, at least the Silver Tracer ought to be better, right? We upgraded it to +5 and do a bit of damage test between the 2 weapons. How is the Bandit's Knife dealing more damage? We'll stick with that one for now. Should have kept the soul for more levels. Anyway, we get the pendant and the key for later, as well as saving Best Doggo because why not? after speaking with Goff, we get to see the best cinematic of the entire game. Now it's time to face off against the Black Lizard now that it has been grounded. Unfortunately, we do end up dying again and again and again. Wait, what? Hold on, rewind. How did that happen? On the third try, we took it slow and methodical. And I don't know if you knew, but Calamite can actually be bled. It just takes a ton of hits to do so. We get a grand total of 2 bleed procs the entire fight, but I'll take all the help I can get. We level a bit of resistance. Pfft, as if. Pump endurance, baby! With that, it's time for the Dark Puppy. The damage is, well, lacking, but little by little we get him down. I always like to keep the pendant on the hotbar and switch to the heals when I need it, so it's a little bit easier to react. We get caught by the wombo combo, but we've been leveling up vitality a lot, so it's not even close. Eventually, he jumps towards us one last time, and that spells his demise. First time, baby! Finally, it's time to put this run to rest. We offer the Lord Souls to open the kiln, and get ready to kill Gwyn with no trouble at all. Except we do have trouble. A lot of trouble, actually. Remember, I can't riposte with my left hand, and apparently, I forgot how to parry him in 1 week. We don't start too badly, but eventually die, and it gets to us. I kept dying. over and over and over and over and over and over again. I couldn't take it. I just got out of it once I realized I couldn't repost, until I thought, what difference does it make if I can't repost? And it all clicked. It just did. From tons of tries with basically no progress, we finally got this attempt. Just look at this. So, can you beat Dark Souls 1 with only daggers in your left hand? Absolutely. We just link the fire to finish the cycle and get ready for our next go at it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the run. Also, we finished in a bit under 10.5 hours.